Good morning, this is Mike with iPhone Rehab, and I am going to share a repair with you. I believe I found the issue, but I just want to share this video unless anybody else comes across something like this, where I had a mobile phone repair shop in an adjacent city send me some repairs, and this was one they had done a back glass replacement, front glass replacement on an iPhone 8 Plus that was working prior to that repair, and they assume some type of a laser damage. And now I'm starting to doubt that that is the issue. I think this phone had another underlining issue, may have been aggravated somewhere in that repair, but it's showing itself now, and I'll go ahead and, well, let's start with what they believe the issue was, which was a short here on this PP0V8 SOC fixed S1 line. And when I received the device, this coil here, L2750 was removed. This coil, L2741, was removed. And this coil, L2740 on PP1V1. So since the coils were removed, I'm guessing they were trying to track down the short, and I had actually measured diode mode readings under everything, and I couldn't find a short on anything. So I took a donor board, another iPhone 8, and I pulled those coils back, and I put all three back on the board, and then applied power. And I'm going to show you what I found once I put these coils back on the board. And let's take a look under the microscope. And you can see this coil here, that 0V8 and the 1V1, two coils that I pulled from a donor board and put them back on. Then let's flip this board over, and whoops, and this coil here I put back on. And this was let's see, that's VDD main, so I guess they popped that off to maybe relieve a short, and it was that bad cap. But either way, let's go ahead and show you what I have found. I have to adjust my microscope to get a wider view here. Alright, here we go. Now, as you can see, I have my DC power supply connected to the board already. And let's just go ahead and prompt to boot. Try to get this to where you can see with a light, doesn't hit it too bad. Now all I'm going to do is just take and try to prompt it to boot. See where it jumps 1.6 immediately. So if I just turn it on pre-boot, it's not pulling anything, so I don't think it's a VDD main short or anything there. So let's put this back and come back down here at the board. And then let's refresh my microscope camera. That's not it. We'll deactivate, and then let's activate. There it is. I don't know why. Sometimes my microscope camera freezes. So let's put the board back in this tray. Let's adjust this camera so you can get a clearer picture. And then just hit it with some freeze spray. and then I'm just going to hit it with power. And look at right at the bottom right hand corner of the PMIC. So I turn it off real quick. So now let's zoom in. And let's put some freeze spray back on there again. And let's hit it with some power and watch where it melts first. Right down in that bottom left hand corner, somewhere here is where I'm assuming is where it's melting first. So now I can better understand why they had assumed there may have been a short there on this VDD main line. Or if we flip this over and let's look right on the back side of the board right there, we're right here where these coils are at too. We're very close. So I can understand why they were removing stuff in that vicinity to try to find that short. But what I had done, let me show you. Go back to display capture and we'll go to ZXW. So since it's getting somewhere in this general vicinity, first thing I did is I checked VDD main. There is no short. Let's go down here. VDD boost. There is no short. So we can eliminate those three and then those two. That boost line isn't short. Let's go here. And 3 volt NAND. Okay, so let's go over and look at these caps here on NAND. You can see where I had already picked that cap a little bit just to be able to get my multimeter in there. Nope, let me get you off of board display view, display capture, so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So right down there on that cap, turn the multimeter on continuity to start with, and I'll just use my shield as ground. Okay, so it is showing continuity on both sides. I know that's not under 0.100, so it's not just, you know, I don't need to really DM it because I know that this is, you know, in the 300 range. So for it to beep, it's got to be under 100. Well, let's do this. Let's just show you the multimeter. The way I got this stuff hooked up, it's not easy to show you. Wait, I got a light on there. Yeah, that didn't make much of a difference either. Oh well. I'm going to pull this out. It just makes it easier when I'm looking through my scope. I can just sort of peek up over the eyepieces and see this multimeter easier. Alright, I've got all kinds of... I need to become more organized. Let's look down. There we go. We can see that multimeter now. Well, we could. A minute. There we go. Okay, we can see the multimeter. Now let's change it to diode mode. We're going to put red on ground. And then we'll take a reading on this side, 0.00. And the other side, 0.00. So I believe that all we have to do is find us a bad cap on 3 volt NAND, and that's where our short is at. So let's test this theory. Turn off the multimeter for a moment. Get organized again. So let's take this camera view to where you can see what I'm doing. Let's move back over here. I want to see which caps I've got to expose. It's just basically that bottom row, this top row, I gotta remember to turn that on so you can see what I'm looking at. We're looking at this bottom row on the corners, here on the sides, and there. So I just need to pick away a little bit of underfill, and then I'll freeze spray it and I'll inject 3 volts and see if any of these caps are guilty culprit, which I'm assuming it is. And find me a little pick tool. Let's turn off display capture. And I'm just going to put it right around, I don't know, just a couple hundred Celsius. We just got to get some of this underfill exposed. That way when we inject voltage, actually let's tighten up that board. Also, I want to take my power off of the board. Okay. There we go. That should make it a little easier. We just want to expose a couple of these guys. And over here on this side. There was a couple here, but I'm not going to mess with those small ones. I just want to see these bigger ones, because usually that's what it is. I don't even think those are part of it, so let's just... That's enough. We need to find a place to inject our voltage. Well, I can just alternate between caps. And get some freeze spray. Let's get my multimeter probes put on my DC power supply. We're going to lower the voltage to 3 volts and just 2 amps is fine. And then let's hit a little bit of freeze spray. There we go. We're going to put black on ground. And let's just... Oh, I need to go back to my board view. I need to see which side of those caps to inject that voltage. Alright, so I can inject on either of those red spots or over here on... I might just inject on this little C2650 and keep an eye on those 3, because it's probably going to be one of those 3 or this one up here, 2613. So let's go back to the camera so you can see. freeze it one more time. And we'll just inject right there. And you see this one? How it melted instantly as soon as I injected voltage there. So I'm going to pop that cap off right here. Let me find a better pair. You know what? I'll just use my hot tweezers. I don't want to pull pads on accident. There it goes. Okay. Now let's test that 3-volt Nand line. Now we're just making sure that checking continuity, and it is no longer short. So it was that cap. Well, at least that's one short. So let's see if the phone will boot now. Let me see here. We can minimize this screen. We don't need it anymore. And we don't need the multimeter. We will just attach an LCD to the board just to get an image if we can. Light off and prompt to boot. Alright, we got a logo. That's a good thing. Didn't do that prior. You can see this power supply up here. And it's a normal boot sequence. Yeah, see, we're up again, and we have touch, and we have an image. We're good. So that's all the repair was. So I want to thank you for watching. Just thought I would share that because I thought I knew what the issue was going to be, and just wanted to share it live as I was doing it. Well, you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching.